I want us to see how do we create different data types. Yeah, so let's talk about data types. We have two different data types: input data types and the data types that we define by ourselves. So for input data types is the one we talk about: the integer, the strings, the booleans, the floats, and so on. Yeah, complex data types. So we have input data types. So for these input data types, I want us to see how they come about. So here we have, for example, we have strings, we have integers, we have floats, and we have complex, and also we have, of course, boolean. Complex, and then we have boolean. So this is some of the input data types. So let's try to create each of these data types. We said when you talk about a string is any series of characters enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. So I can say I have a, and then I have double quotes, and then I have a string. Let me say, for example, John. Yeah, so this is my string. Yeah, and then let me have another variable which is an integer. So I can say I have p, and then I have 2. I have p, and then I have 2. So this will store my integer data type or data value. And then we have floats. Remember, for integer we don't have a fractional part. So let me say I have a float, for example 4.34. So this will be my float. It will store a value with a fractional part, right? So let's try to check the data types of each of these. Okay, let me just add some other examples. Let me say I have b, and then I have 5. 5 is a value of an integer, yes, but it is enclosed in single quotes. That means it will be our string. Also, okay, let's go ahead and check the data types of each of these. Yeah, let's check the data type of our variable a. So to check the data type of a variable, we have the type method. Yeah, so this type method will check the data type of our variable. So for a, it will give us a string. That means our variable a stores a data type of type string. So this is a data type of type string, data type of type string. And then we have the second data type, which is p. So we have type of p. So the type of p is an integer because it does not have a fractional part. Another thing we can check is the C data type. So we check the data type of C, right? The data type of C is a float because it has a fractional part. So that is C. And then we go to D. We check the data type of our variable D. So we have type, and then we have D. D is a string because it is enclosed in quotes. So that is how we can check the data type of different the data types of different variables or identifiers, right? And then we discussed something about typecasting. We said typecasting is the case where we want to change a data type from one type to another type. So we talk about typecasting all type conversion. Yeah, typecasting all type conversion. So we have our first variable. Let's create a variable of an integer. Yeah, and then we want to convert this variable into, for example, a float. Yeah, so let's check the type of this. Let's check the type of this of a. It is an integer, but I want to convert this type to a float. So how do I convert this data type to a float? I create a variable p, and then I have the float method. Yeah, and then I say a. I pass my value a, which is just an integer of which I want to convert to a float. So let me check now my value p. Let me check my value p. So it will give me a value of 10.0. Here, if I have printed this a, if I print this a, it will give me a value of 10. That means 10 does not have any fractional part, but after converting to a float, it gave me a fractional part of 0.0. So that is how we can do type conversion. Similarly, we can convert a float to an integer. For example, I have my float, let me say c, which stores a value 20.22, right? And then I want to convert this variable to all this float to an integer. So what I can do, I can create a variable d, and then I have the int method, and then I have c. I will simply convert this into an integer. Let me check the type of now d. So let's say type of d. So it will convert it to an integer, right? So that is how we can simply do type conversion.